all opportunities are basically the same except for five things. So when you kind of look at any opportunity, regardless if it's crypto, real estate, network marketing, financial services, solar, it's all going to be about the same, except for five things in terms of what it is you're going to have to do to be able to navigate and be successful in it. Five things are the product and service in which you offer. Two would be the timing of what it is and what you're doing. Then it's going to be the leadership that's actually leading the company. And you're looking at the compensation model for four. And the last thing would be the system of success. So we kind of, when you're looking at, let's say, the product and service. So if you're in a business model where you're the product, or let's say you have a product that's something that's going to be outdated, like a Blockbuster Video, you have videos. It's probably not going to be the best model. Let's say if you have Pet Rocks, it's probably not going to be the best thing for you to invest your time in. It can work, but you're going to have to go back and kind of try to create that to make it work. Or if you have something that's like brand new to the world, whereas though you're going to have to be the one that explains it to people how it works, it's going to be an uphill battle. Not saying it can't work, but it's going to be an uphill battle for you to really get the word out for people to really trust that. If you're in let's say a consulting business, or you're a barber, a beautician, maybe you're a coach, you are the product. So if something happens to you, or if you slow down, or you go on vacation and you're not working, then that business is not going to work without you. So that's the first thing you want to really look at in terms of the business. What you're going to look at is how much work am I going to have to do in order for that product to remain to be successful. But also the second thing to be look at is like, how long is that going to be able to be relevant in the market? Like, you're only going to be able to cut hair for so many years, or you're only going to be able to, let's say, be a coach of some sort for so long. It could be a great run, but is that business going to be able to go on without you? Now, if that's not your goal, for the business to be able to outlive you and be able to be passed down to others, then go for it. But that's one of the things you want to look at in terms of what's going to be different is the product and service you're offering. The second is the timing of whatever you're doing. So think about the timing. Just think about things that come and gone in your lifetime that you thought were cool. I'm gonna say Pontiac, who used to be a brand of car that was pretty popular, to Trans Am when I was younger, but really can't find those now. Or I used to like Acura Legends when I was younger. Acura Legends not really around. That's just in the car space. But there's just so many things in what you're doing now with us in terms of where we are. We're in the financial services industry. That's our product. Been around for decades, let's say centuries. It hasn't really turned. And there's about 8 lobbyists for every politician that's in the markets. I mean, for every politician in Washington. So things are probably really going to change much for where I am. So I'm pretty confident that my business in the financial services industry will really be able to outlast me and be able to be passed on to others, so that they'll still be able to receive the benefits and rewards from what I'm doing. But the timing of what we're doing it's always needed in the marketplace in terms of what we do. And either say over the next 20 years, there's going to be in excess of like $20 trillion that's going to change hands from the people that are retiring, that are going to be retiring and leaving their jobs and transitioning. But there's always so many different trends that had happened in our industry that all we do is just kind of just follow those waves. So now the baby boomers, as they've kind of gone through the cycles of life, now they're kind of at the end of life, where they have all this money that they've accumulated, and what it is they're looking to do is to be able to turn that into like lifetime income, or be able to change some of those assets so they can pass them on to others. And we're just right there to be able to do that. And then we can do that for other demographics of people where they're in different phases of their life. But for our company in particular, the timing has never been better, because we're looking to be IPO ready in the next, say, in the next 3 years. So for us, the timing is outstanding in terms of what we're doing, in terms of being able to bring Wall Street to Main Street, the story to show the average person how to be able to get from point A to point B using the same tools, techniques, and ideas in which they do on Wall Street, but just the average person has no idea that they exist. And to be IPO ready, meaning that we say that your commissions can help you create a lifestyle, but they say the being IPO ready, but the ownership could help you really be able to create that legacy. So we have both of those in terms of what we have, everything here in our organization. The third thing would be the leadership. Now, if you're the leader of your organization, you have to trust you. So if you're an independent Uber driver, you are the leader in that organization. I mean, you're working with Uber, so you're hoping that Uber stays in business, but in your particular company, you are the leader. So if Uber, I mean, I guess if you're an Uber driver, Uber were to go belly up, you can just flip over to Lyft, or if there's another taxi company that comes along, you can still be in that same industry. Like we, in the financial service industry, there's so many different companies that we can work with. They're all not ideal for the individual, I mean, for each person, but as the situation evolves and the situation changes, then we just use that particular company that's going to fit that best. But in regards of leadership, I always just think if any company is still in business, then the leadership is going to have to be somewhat good because the company is in business. But the leadership to go from good to great or good to outstanding, you want to look and see what have the leaders done in your industry, in your business, that have taken you from point A to point B. What have they done? Like we have a couple of leaders with our organization that have actually changed the industry in a way. So I know that we're sitting on the verge of something great. So when we become IPO ready in a few years, it's going to be even greater than what it is, I'm thinking now because of the credibility in which they have in the industry. Fourth thing being a compensation. I mean, if I do this, how much am I going to make? So if I were to go out and do X, what am I going to make for it? And this is kind of where, like a lot of people, where they look at opportunities, this is where they get excited. Is that, okay, if I do this, I can make that amount of money. And that's really what you're looking at in terms of being able to get the compensation. Because if you line two things up and you're going to spend the same amount of time working at both of those, let's say both of those entities, where you're going to have the greatest return on your money. I mean, where you're going to have the greatest return on your time in terms of the compensation and what you're going to receive. So when you look at that compensation model, attached to that is the system of success. What do you have to do in order to be able to receive that compensation? What tools or what systems do you have to have in place? Is there going to be an upfront cost for you to be able to get into that model? How do you really scale it? What are you going to have to do to be able to grow that beyond yourself? And again, if you're a barber, you can only, let's say, cut so many heads in a day. But if you break your hand, you're not going to be able to do anything. So how do you scale beyond that? So when you want to look at it, it's like, how can I automate what it is I'm doing? And you being unless you're Amazon, you have an Amazon fleet where you can go out and send out all the Amazon trucks for delivery, you can scale that. But if you're a single independent 1099 contractor as an Amazon driver, you're not really going to be able to scale that unless you find a way to be able to hire other people to be able to do the same thing in what you're doing. So again, looking at any opportunity, they're all going to be the same in terms of what you're going to have to do, except for those five things being the product and service in which you're offering, the timing of whatever it is you're doing, and the leadership of the people that are leading the company or organization that you're working with, the compensation, like how much can I make if I were to do this, and then the system of success in terms of what is it you're going to have to do in order to be successful. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about what we do, what we have, I said some things that intrigued you, maybe you're getting excited about the opportunity to be able to have an IPO offering or want to see what that looks like, reach out to me. Because one of the things we always ask people, just based on what it is you're doing now, are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubts? If you have some doubts, let's kind of look at where you're at, and maybe we can make some suggestions to you, give you some ideas of some of the things you can do to be able to plug up those leaks. All right, we'll talk to you soon.